So, we knew it was coming. We knew that Crysencio Summerville was likely to leave the club this season, and at the end of the day, Crysencio Summerville is moving to West Ham, Premier League club. Ultimately, it makes sense for him. He gets to take the next step in his career. It's annoying for us, but these things are going to happen when you don't get promoted. But there are still some questions left to be tidied up. A lot of questions that Leeds United fans have around the deal and how it's structured and what any add-ons are, and ultimately what the final fee is. So, I've been asking around, asking some questions from various little sources, and I think I'm in a very, very good spot to talk about the inside of Leeds United's Summerville sale. And I'm going to start with some full transparency here. The base of this is from a source that I 100% trust, and I trust that source's source. And I have hugely cross-referenced and corroborated it with people that I've worked with in the past in terms of football news and football media and stuff like that. So there's nothing in this that screams out as inaccurate, and everyone sort of said, yeah, that adds up with what we've heard as well. I would be very, very surprised if this was inaccurate. So, in this video, I'm going to run through what exactly we already know, some of the biggest questions that fans were left with as a result of what we found out, some of the specific details of the move in addition to what happens next and the sort of timeline of things, and then Leeds' next steps to move on from the sale of Crysencio Summerville. So, first, to start with, what is it that we already know? There's arguably quite a lot here because, well, we all know it. But yesterday afternoon, all hell broke loose. Midway through the afternoon, Fabrizio Romano just tweets out that eye emoji, whilst quote tweeting something about Summerville being linked with West Ham. After that, you find out from The Athletic and the Yorkshire Evening Post and Sky Sports that there is in fact something going on in the background, and Leeds were in advanced talks with West Ham. The Summerville move to West Ham was very, very clearly on by this point, and that sort of got the ball rolling, and the ball rolled incredibly quickly to get to the final stages. Apparently, personal terms were agreed before an agreement between the clubs, which is sort of normal at this point. Agents will try and sort whatever they can with a club just to sort of prevent a situation in which clubs make an agreement and then there can't be something done on the player side. That tends to be a pain in the arse, so sorting out the personal terms first made sense from their perspective. Importantly, and the bit that a lot of people got caught up on, including me, was the fact that a Romano tweet said that the package was in excess of £25 million with add-ons. That's really badly phrased, in my opinion, especially considering what we know now and what I'm going to say in a minute. But he's also set for a long-term deal at West Ham, so it looks like it's going to be probably 4 or 5 year deal, and he'll see what he can do from there. So, some of the biggest questions that we were left with were, what exactly are the add-ons? Because that is really vague. It can include anything from a loan player to a Sellon Clause to all sorts of stuff. What exactly Leeds are planning on doing next? What the overall financial sum of the sale is. This was a biggie. Everyone is sort of questioning the value of Summerville and what it should be. And ultimately, do we have time to sort out a replacement? I'll get to that towards the end of the video. And before that, we've got the inside details of the move. The stuff that I learned from various different sources. So it turns out £25 million is just the base fee of the move. Completely normal, rational, makes sense. The phrasing from Fabrizio Romano, because of this, is very, very irritating. Phrasing it as, I'm going to find the specific word used, in excess of £25 million with add-ons, sort of annoying because it implies that with add-ons, the whole thing is worth a bit more than 25 million, whereas in fact, we're looking significantly bigger than that. Rather than just one big add-on fee, it's looking like it's going to be multiple smaller ones. The specific details that I heard on this were that it includes stuff like appearance numbers, in-game performances, so goals, assists, that sort of stuff, and European qualification, including apparently West Ham winning trophies, but that feels specifically unlikely. But importantly, one thing that I heard that sort of annoys me is there is apparently no sell-on clause. There is no situation in which Summerville goes to West Ham, kicks on, becomes the best player in the world, is sold for £100 million, and we have a 15% clause that gives us another 15 million quid in the future. That is apparently not part of the conversation, which is a shame, and it means that we don't benefit from any future deals, which would have been really nice considering we know what his ceiling is and we know how much potential Crysencio Summerville has got. Add on to that the move is not in doubt. Summerville is already in a London hotel with a medical scheduled for the morning. And it looks like the total sum, including add-ons, assuming that they all get reached, is going to be £34 million, which is a lot closer to what we were saying. 35 to 40 is the sort of area that was being discussed. I know some people, including Gabe, thought 50 was roughly going to be the ballpark, but realistically, Premier League clubs are not going to be paying that to Championship sides unless it's Romeo Lavia, and for some reason Southampton managed to get like obscene amounts of money out of various clubs. But £34 million seems like a reasonable-ish amount. It's a touch on the lower side compared to what I would have liked, but it could be significantly worse, I think. Genuinely not the worst amount of money that we could have gotten here. So what happens next? He's scheduled for a medical in the morning, reportedly 9 a.m, and then he is set to fly out to the West Ham squad as soon as possible after that. West Ham are currently on tour, which means that he's going to have to go out there and start training with them and learning the system as soon as possible. I believe, did West Ham hire Lopetegui? Let's just quickly double check. Yes. So I believe he's going to have to learn Lopetegui's system very, very, very quickly. But also what needs to happen very quickly is Leeds need to get replacing. Thankfully, that war chest just grew. So let's have a last little segment talking about Leeds United's next steps, because having sold a player, the next thing you need to do is replace them and recover. And in my opinion, at the moment, there are no financial excuses left. PSR was sorted with the grey sale. And we completely understood from the start of the window that Summerville would be pushing for a move. Apparently, according to the Sky Sports Premier League video, Summerville was quite keen on the move because West Ham have a tendency of qualifying for Europe, and that's a perfect sort of stepping stone move to get to the top tier if he's of that level. But being able to sell him means that we have quite a bit of cash now in the club that we are able to spend, and the potential financial excuses are gone for this window, in my opinion. And we have three things immediately that need sorting. We need to sort the left back issue. We need to support Junior Firpo, potentially replace him, but at worst, we need cover for him. We need to sign a midfielder who can do box-to-box progressive stuff, shooting, and we need to replace Crysencio Summerville. All of this makes a lot of sense when you consider that the talk on Gabriel Sara in midfield, Ballatore at left back, and Raksaki, Crystal Palace winger, have gotten louder and louder and louder, because presumably this was going on in the background for a little while. It's not a deal that would have been done like this. There will have been conversations with West Ham for a little while now, and it feels like another case of the 49ers moving very quietly, very subtly, and eventually a deal happens, whether it's someone leaving or someone coming in. Who knows? Maybe we've got all three players lined up to come in the morning. I doubt it, but ideally we get those players in before the start of the season, because if that does not happen, then we're playing catch up with some of our squad, which is not where we want to be. At the end of the day, we have plenty of time. I say plenty. We've got like 10 days. Use them. Because if we don't, we're putting ourselves on the back foot without having needed to. Both financially and in terms of the situation, this could be worse. It could have just been that 25 million rather than the 34. And in terms of the situation, he could have gone on deadline day like Sinistera did last time out. But we need to take advantage of what we've gained here, which is 9 million more than we initially thought from that tweet, and several weeks of opportunities to get in before deadline day. It feels like something that we need to do, and something that I think we will do. But all of that is what I think, and what I've heard from people. But I want to know what you think in the comments down below. Is 34 million roughly a decent price? Do you think we'll get the add-ons we need? And how quickly do you think we sort these replacements out? Does it need to be an urgent thing, or can it be done over the next week or so, and we just sort of bed them in as the season slowly ramps up? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure you're 100% sure of what you're thinking on it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, comment what you think and all that stuff down below. You could even become a channel member. It is 99p a month, and it's all going to Prostate Cancer UK right now until my walk, which is on Saturday. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you later. Selling players is stressful. I don't like it. I'd rather we didn't, but I get it. £34 million could buy you a lot of Willy Nontos, I guess. 9, 8.5? 8.5 Willy Nontos, that's what we'll do. Ta-ra.